Hi, I'm John. Welcome to the Hunting and Homestead Butcher channel on YouTube. Today I'm going to be making venison burgers, and I'll be making them from the offcuts of meat that I took from the 4 deer that I butchered in the How to Butcher a Deer series of videos that I made. Okay, to get things started, I need to mince the offcuts of meat that I have here in the bowl. Most of them are chopped up small enough for the mincer. It's a fairly powerful mincer I have. It's a 1 horsepower mincer, and it's rated to take 120 kilos of meat an hour. So we've got 5 kilos. Not too worried about getting fat into the mix. It's all just going to add to the flavour. You've a powerful mincer and mince big pieces of meat. And that's my 5 kilos of mince done. I have 5 kilos of mince here, and to that I'm going to add 500 grams of pork fat. This is very lean mince. It all came from the muscles off the back legs. I used all the flank and shoulder mince previously on another batch of burgers, so I've had to add extra fat for these ones. This is frozen fat. It helps to freeze the fat. Goes through the mincer a bit better. So that's 500 grams of pork fat added to 5 kilos of mince. Okay, so I have 5.4 kilos of meat and fat. I have a bag of burger mix here. I have some water. So these are the ingredients for my burgers today. I get my burger mix from a company called Scoby's Direct, and you can buy it online. It costs €4 for this bag of burger mix, which will do for 20 kilos of burgers for meat. There's a calculator and a recipe for every mix that they have on their website. So I entered in 5.4 kilos of meat into the calculator, and it told me that I needed 250 grams of mix and 640 grams of water. So that's what I stick with. I'm not going to deviate from their recipe. I've tried it in the past and I found it very, very good, and it's repeatable. If I was to go to the supermarket and try and buy the ingredients to add to the burgers, I'd certainly be spending a lot more than €4 for 20 kilos. So it's very cost effective to buy these pre-made mixes from the butcher suppliers. So this is how I mix it up. So that's my meat weighed out, 5.4. I'm going to set the tare on it again. I'm going to add my mix now. So I'm just going to add 250 grams. There we are. And then I'm going to add my water. So 640 grams of water. That's it. I had it measured out in the jug anyway. And that's my mix done. So I'll just give it a quick mix together in the bowl first. mixing it through with my hands. This is ice cold. And then I'm just going to put it out on the table. Spread it out. Whew. Okay, so I have it spread out on the table now. So I'm just going to make sure it's all mixed thoroughly and get the fat through it as well, because all my pork fat needs to be mixed through. So what I want to do is I want to have the fat spread evenly through it. And it's a lot easier to do that when it's really, really cold. It breaks up into little pieces. It's advisable to wear gloves, as in woolen or your cut-proof gloves underneath your rubber gloves for this. For two reasons. One, it stops your hands getting cold. But two, it stops your hands heating up the meat. And you can see this is getting quite stiff. It's mixing well. And that's the binder kicking in as well. This is what stops your burgers from falling apart when you put them on the barbecue. I think most people that have made burgers at some stage have made a batch where they just will not stay together. And that's why I'm in favour of using, you know, these pre-mixed bags, because at least you're not wasting the meat by making a product that you're not going to use. Because if every time you throw your burgers onto the barbecue they fall through it or they fall apart in the frying pan, you're just not going to use them. And then it's all a wasted effort. And it's a wasted animal, really. Right, that's mixed nicely now. Chuck it back into the bowl. Just give my table a quick wipe down. So now it's time to assemble my burger press. So this is possibly one of the best gadgets I've bought for butchering. It's a burger press attachment for your sausage maker. And I bought it about 5-6 years ago from Cabelas in the States. And it just revolutionized how I made burgers anyway. And it's a cheap enough piece of kit. I think it might have cost somewhere in around €100. Unfortunately, they don't seem to make them there anymore, but they can be still bought online if you do a search for burger press attachment. I recently saw an Australian company selling them. So quite simply, you fit onto your sausage making press and it just fills it up with meat and you've got a burger. You'll see how it works in a minute. So what I do when I'm making burgers is I line these trays, these food trays, with just the normal plastic bags I use in the larder here. They just fit perfectly. I'm not going to be using burger papers. So I'm going to fill my burger meat into this sausage stuffer. Pack it in nice and tight. And it's all very simple from here on. So just turn the handle There's my burger. Put it into my tray. Before I got this burger press, we used to have to weigh out little balls of meat, and then we put them into a cast iron press that we had that you had to force down to make the shape of the burger. And it was very, very time consuming. So I have my tray full, so instead of burger papers, I've got my bags to go on top. It's a lot quicker than putting on 12 discs, front and back. Makes nice 6-ounce burgers, so they're pretty substantial burgers. So my buddies in the Irish Kayak Angling Club are going paddling down the Shannon over the Easter, and they're looking for some food for their trip. They're going to be camping out over a few nights as they paddle down the River Shannon. So I've promised them burgers if they subscribe to my YouTube channel. So it's a fair deal, I think. And when you have them all made, you disassemble. So you don't have any waste when you're doing these, because put this down on the table and collect up any of the meat that's left over in the machine and fill these little slots. So we should get another couple of burgers out of this. Okay. So that's our machine fully cleaned out. No waste. This lad in a bit. There's 2 more burgers. Just get my knife, slide under them. And that's it. Job done. Just cover the burgers off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze these burgers like this, and when they're frozen solid, we'll take them out and we'll pack them in bags of 2. So we smaller bags that we pack them into, and just pop straight back into the freezer again until we're going to pop them on the barbecue. And with these trays, are very, very handy because it's quite a narrow tray. So we don't stack them too high. We generally only go 2 rows high, 3 at most, with these trays, and then we can stack the trays on top of each other in the freezer, and it doesn't take up too much space in the freezer. If you put more than three, stacking more than three high, what happens is the weight of the burgers on top, they flatten out the burgers on the bottom, and you end up with all these square patties on the bottom of the tray. So that's it. Very simple way of making burgers. Very quick way. It's something we've learned over the years through trial and error, and it works for us. Thanks for watching, and please click subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll have more videos coming for you soon.